If you are tired of missing that one critical shot because your camera buffer choked, or if you felt let down by the rolling shutter and cramped ergonomics of the original Canon EOS or 7, what if I told you that Canon has been quietly engineering a monster in the dark? Forget everything you thought you knew about crop sensor mirrorless cameras. Because the leaks coming straight out of Tokyo for the upcoming Canon EOS or 7 Mark II are not just incremental updates, they point to a total paradigm shift that is about to completely terrify Sony and Fujifilm. Today, we are diving deep into the massive confidential leaks, the insider supply chain reports, and the exact specifications of the camera that is shaping up to be the absolute undisputed king of APS-C. If you shoot wildlife, sports, fast-moving action, or hybrid video, stay glued to every single word of this breakdown, because the details leaking right now change the entire game. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the sensor and the processing engine. When the original EOS or 7 dropped, it was praised for its incredible reach, thanks to that 1.6x crop factor, which made distant wildlife look like it was right in front of you. But it had flaws. Rolling shutter in electronic shutter mode was a known headache, and the sensor readout speed left professional action photographers wanting just a bit more. According to deep supply chain leaks and regulatory filings, Canon is bypassing minor tweaks entirely. The R7 Mark II is heavily rumored to feature a brand new, cutting-edge 39-megapixel backside illuminated stacked CMOS sensor. Let that sink in. A stacked APS-C sensor with a readout speed that insiders are comparing directly to, or potentially rivaling, the powerhouse EOS or 5 Mark II. What does a stacked sensor actually mean for you in the real world? It means reading data off the sensor so fast that electronic rolling shutter distortion is practically eliminated. You can pan across a speeding race car, track a falcon diving at 80 miles an hour, or shoot in silent electronic mode under artificial stadium lighting without a single hint of banding or skew. Paired with a rumored inclusion of the dedicated DIGIC Accelerator chip, the same kind of heavy-duty processing architecture driving Canon's elite flagship gear, this camera isn't just fast, it is operating on an entirely different computational frequency. Speaking of speed, let's talk burst rates. The original R7 gave you 30 frames per second electronically, which was impressive for its time. But the R7 Mark II leaks point to a blistering 40 frames per second electronic shutter, complete with advanced pre-capture capabilities. Think about that for a second. Pre-capture means the camera is constantly buffering images into temporary memory the moment you half-press the shutter button. When a bird takes flight or an athlete bursts off the line, the camera has already captured the critical split second before you fully press the button. You will literally never miss a decisive moment again because your reflexes were a fraction of a second too slow. Now, how about autofocus? Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF is already legendary, but industry insiders are dropping a massive phrase when talking about the R7 Mark II. They are calling it potentially the best autofocus of any APS-C camera ever made. Leveraging the deep learning algorithms powered by that secondary accelerator chip, the subject tracking isn't just sticky, it is adhesive. Whether you are shooting through dense tree branches, tracking erratic subjects moving unpredictably across the frame, or shooting eye detection AF on fast-moving animals and sports stars, this system is engineered to lock on and refuse to let go. It brings flagship-tier intelligence down to a crop sensor body, bridging the gap between enthusiast tools and professional high-end hardware. Let's address one of the biggest complaints creators and enthusiasts had about the first-generation R7, the body design and ergonomics. Let's be honest, while the original R7 was a fantastic camera on paper, many users felt the body felt a bit cramped, and the rear control layout with that unconventional combined wheel and joystick took serious getting used to, especially if you were stepping up from a full-frame body like the R6. The leaks regarding the R7 Mark II's physical design are absolute music to our ears. Reports indicate that Canon is moving toward a larger, more robust, and professional-grade 4M factor, heavily leaning on the ergonomic blueprint of the EOS R6 series. This means a deeper, more comfortable hand grip, a more substantial weather-sealed chassis that can handle brutal field conditions, and a button and dial layout that feels instantly familiar to anyone running professional hybrid setups. And the upgrades don't stop at the exterior shell. Look inside the viewfinder, and you'll find another massive correction. The original R7's $2.36 million electronic viewfinder was functional, but felt a bit dated. Leaks point to a significantly higher resolution EVF, bringing it right up to par with the crisp, lag-free viewing experience found on higher-end full-frame bodies. Paired with a staggering 8.5-stop 5-axis in-body image stabilization system, you can handhold shutter speeds for multiple seconds or pull off buttery-smooth handheld video walking shots without needing a bulky gimbal. Power and data management have also received a serious commercial overhaul. For years, professionals demanded pro-level workflow support in crop bodies, and Canon is finally delivering. The R7 Mark II is heavily tipped to feature dual card slots, combining a blazing fast CF Express Type B slot alongside a traditional SD slot. This means unlimited buffer clearing, safe simultaneous backup writing for high-stakes professional gigs, and zero downtime when shooting heavy bursts or high bitrate video. Furthermore, it adopts the newer, high-capacity LPE6P battery, ensuring that your battery life won't die on you midway through an intense shoot. Speaking of video, let's talk about the hybrid capabilities. While early leaks heavily emphasized the massive leap in stills performance and sensor technology, the architectural requirements of a high-speed 39-megapixel stack sensor inherently unlock massive video potential. With minimal rolling shutter and high readout speeds, the R7 Mark II is poised to support uncropped high frame rate recording options and advanced RAW video codecs. For content creators who want a single, lightweight travel rig that can effortlessly switch between high-resolution wildlife photography and cinematic 4K or 8K adjacent video production, this camera is shaping up to be the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Why is this release sending shockwaves through the photography community right now? Because for a long time, brands treated APS-C as an entry-level stepping stone. They gave you great sensors wrapped in plastic, crippled bodies, and missing professional features to protect their expensive full-frame lineups. The Canon EOS R7 Mark II completely shatters that outdated philosophy. By packing a stack sensor, a dedicated accelerator processor, pro-grade dual card slots, a rugged full-frame class body, and mind-bending 40 frames per second speeds into an APS-C platform, Canon is making a bold statement. They are proving that crop sensors don't have to mean compromised performance. For wildlife photographers who want that extra reach without lugging around massive, expensive 600mm full-frame glass, this is the holy grail. You get the equivalent field of view of a much longer lens while retaining the pixel density and cropping flexibility of a high-resolution sensor. As regulatory filings and confidential testing units continue to circulate in the wild ahead of official announcement windows, the excitement is reaching a fever pitch. The pricing is expected to reflect its high-end positioning, undoubtedly sitting higher than the original R7's launch price and encroaching into serious enthusiast territory, but when you look at the spec sheet, the value proposition for working professionals is staggering. So, what does this mean for you? If you've been sitting on the fence, holding onto an aging DSLR, or feeling restricted by your current mirrorless setup, the Canon EOS R7 Mark II is quite literally the camera worth waiting for. It redefines what a crop sensor camera can achieve, blending blazing speed, uncompromised autofocus intelligence, and pro-grade build quality into a package that punches way above its weight class.